Hi, you are watching What's On, the Midlands entertainment page. I'm Chanel Shay Calvin, and joining me in the studio today is author and entertainer Billy Babu, who tells stories with sound effects, all coming from his very own voice box. And we'll try and get him to do some as well. And in the second half of the show, I'll be having a chat with photographer Emma Love, who, after having her heart broken, decided to raise money for Birmingham Children's Hospital by taking photos of the male ambassadors of Birmingham. Now you've got an event of your own taking place and you want it to be shared on this show, or maybe you want to come and have a chat with me, all you need to do is email whatson@bigcentre.tv. It's also on the bottom of the screen for you. But before I welcome Billy Babu to What's On, here's Gary James with the rundown of this week's sporting events.
Thanks, Chanel. Well, coming up this weekend, the Sainsbury's Birmingham Grand Prix Diamond League Athletics meeting. That takes place at the Alexander Stadium, Perry Bar in Birmingham. The gates open at 11:30. The first event is around about 1:20, and then the last event around about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They do advise to book tickets online. They are selling fast. There may be a few on the gate, but they can't guarantee because obviously there's only a certain amount of seats available. So if you'd like more information, please go to the website. It's britishathletics.org.uk. Now, for you cricket fans out there, taster coming up this coming week. We have Tuesday the 9th of June at midday. It's a one-day match between England and New Zealand at Edgbaston. And Friday the 12th of June, and it soon comes round, doesn't it? It's T20. Back at Edgbaston, it's a rematch. It's Warwickshire Bears taking on Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Nottinghamshire Outlaws, of course, beat Warwickshire Bears the first match of the season a few weeks ago. So revenge is on the cards for next Friday, the 12th of June, the T20 at Edgbaston. For both games, for more information and more importantly to book tickets, please go to allthews.edgbaston.com. And coming up in just over a week's time, tickets available now at the Edgbaston Priory Club. It's the Aegon Classic, where women's tennis comes to town. All week from the 15th through to Sunday the 21st of June, it's the Aegon Classic. Back to you, Chanel.
Well, thanks, Gary. Well, I've stolen your sofa as in this very spot on Monday's show. I'll be joined by the local band that everyone is talking about. They write their own music, are local lads, and have been described as perfect crossover rock. They are called E of E, and they're performing at Download on the 12th of June, which is the world's #1 rock festival. And later on in the month, they are headlining at Lichfield Rocks. Oh, it's exciting. So it's not to be missed. So make sure you tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for an exclusive unplugged live performance. And if you can't wait that long, then at the end of the show, we'll be playing their new video. Now back to me in the studio. So welcome, Billy, and thank you so much for joining me today on What's On.
Thank you.
So obviously you do so much things on the entertainment industry and obviously storytelling, but where did it all begin? What is your background?
Well, I was born in Walsall in the early 60s. I don't want to say how early. And my father took over a couple of pubs, and that's where my life changed at the age of 10. All of these people were coming in from different parts of the world, whether they be from Jamaica, whether they be from Northern Ireland, whether they be from Scotland, whether they be from up north. And then I started learning all the accents. And people said to me, "You're very good with the accents." And then I started to learn to do the impressions. I was watching Mike Yarwood, and then whether it be Ken Dodd, "Boy, chew, Mrs." or whether it be Frank Castle, "It's a cracker, swear, tell him." I started to learn all of that. And then slowly one thing built onto another.
That's amazing. So it's not something that you've had to sit down and get a book and think, this is how you need to do this phonetically. It's just something that you just find a natural talent in.
It just came naturally. Wherever I go in the country, when I were working up Yorkshire, I become Yorkshireman. And when I go to Wales, which is very similar to an Indian accent as well, it comes in and out, I become Welsh.
That's very amazing.
Yeah.
So was it quite hard when you were 10 years old to fit in obviously school and obviously working in the pub?
Well, actually, my education did suffer because I would be up until about 3 and 4 every morning and serving people. Can you believe it? At the age of 10, I'm serving behind a bar. And basically, then when I went to school, I was half asleep. So most of my education I've done after I left school, really.
But if it wasn't for that, then you wouldn't be
I wouldn't be who I am today. No.
Exactly. Yeah. So before we touch on that a little bit more, I was reading how you've done some really nice charitable events and stuff, because you went to Hull. Did you deliver, was it 5,000 bread rolls?
Yep, what happened was I was watching a BBC clip and this woman was crying, saying that we've got no jobs here. we've got no income coming in. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if somebody actually went out and did something? So I approached a local bakery called Lewis's Bakery in Garrett's Green, Birmingham, and I asked them to donate 5,000 bread rolls. I got up 4:30 in the morning with a friend of mine, Andrew, and we loaded the car with 5,000 bread rolls, drove up there, and we were treated like royalty when we got there. And the press were there, and the councillors and everybody, and we handed out the bread.
I mean, that's just really beautiful, because you could have easily have used your natural talents to put on like a show or something, I guess, but giving people the necessity and the essentials, which is food, I just think that's a really beautiful thing to do.
Yeah, it's wonderful to share food, isn't it?
It is.
And people have asked me, what's my favourite meal? I've said a free one.
I like that one. Are you going to do anything like that again in the future at all?
Yeah, I'm still working on a few projects, and I'm waiting for people to get back to me. Yeah, so.
That's really nice. I'll make sure we look out for that one as well.
Yes.
So obviously going back to, obviously you're a storyteller. Are you able to tell us a bit of a story at the moment? Or?
Yes, I can tell you a story. My stories are different because I do sound effects with mine. That's another thing I learnt over the years, is that I was watching other people. And I used to watch this one chap as he was loading his lorry, and he was making sound effects of a trumpet. He was saying, and I took that, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So if I'm going to do something, I want to do it well. And slowly but surely, I learned how to do a trumpet. And then slowly but surely, I started adding lots of other sound effects to it. And as a storyteller now, that's what I do. So I'll give you a clip of Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack is climbing to the top of the beanstalk. When he gets to the top, there's a jungle there. And he quickly runs through the jungle. He opens the door to the giant's house. He sees the giant sitting there. You can hear the giant's heart beating. The giant has a big TV screen, and he's watching motor racing. There you are.
Oh, God, that was so cool. I think you deserve a round of applause for that.
Thank
That
you.
was really good. Oh, so is it quite difficult to be able to obviously switch from talking and then go into a different sound effect? Is it really hard to try and differentiate
Most
the two?
storytellers will just tell you a story, and they can go on for 2 hours. Usually when I tell a story to children, it usually takes me an hour at the most, and then that's it. I can't speak after that because it's taken so much out of my voice box.
And have you self-taught yourself as well with that?
Yeah, my latest one I've learned is a roaring lion.
Could you teach me how to do something? Is it, like, what's the simplest one that I could probably...
It's the tongue, basically. Without the tongue, you can't do nothing. So the tongue is going to the back. You make a little bit of a cup.
I don't think that's going to come out like that. I think that's fast. So your tongue's to the back.
Yeah.
And then you just literally just blow in, or is it...
Yeah, well, you've made a little bit of an echo, which then brings that forward.
I think I'll leave it to you. Oh, sorry. I think
You can't blow your own trumpet.
That was it's obviously a natural talent. So is it mainly aimed at kids and children, or is it sort of...
It is youngsters, basically. I tell stories too, whether it be Jack and the Beanstalk, whether it be the Little Red Hen, and which was the last one I told for Mrs. Lal in Wolverhampton. I told her grandchildren a story. And all children are not expecting it, you see. They don't expect the sound effects.
No, you don't.
And that's what captures their imagination then.
Even though it's like aimed at children, I could picture it in my head, like the different things that are happening and the different sound effects. So I think it really is quite captivating.
Yeah, like I say to the children, if you eat too many sweets, you'll go to the dentist.
Yeah, that's scary. That wouldn't work. So what is the future for you? Have you got anything else lined up or anything?
Well, the storytelling is the future, and I've written a book, and it's based on an Indian Robin Hood. It's been out since last year. If you just type in Billy Babu into Google, you'll see my book come up. It's based on an Indian Robin Hood called Robin the Hood. Sounds like Robin the Hood. Two Indians show you around called Sat and Nav. Satvinda and Navinda. And then the cook is called Gurinder Ramsay.
Oh, I see what you've done there. That's good.
And the sheriff is known as the Sharif, which means good in Punjabi, of not eating ham.
Oh, Ah,
Yeah.
that one's out already, did you say?
Yes, it's out already.
That sounds really cool. So it's really nice that you've obviously used your talents, obviously create a book and obviously do storytelling and obviously to help people as well, which I think is really beautiful. I just want to say thank you so much. Could you do one more little sound effect or something for us?
Well, I will give you a royal seal of approval in Punjabi. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, Tik-tak, Big Centre TV.
Oh, thank you. That was perfect. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Well, that's all for part one. Join me after the break. We'll be playing a music video from one of my future guests who are rock band EV. So look out for that one. And also, Emma Love will be here. So don't go anywhere, and I'll see you in a little while. Hi, and welcome back to What's On. Now, before I have a chat with photographer Emma Love, I'm going to hand you over to Lee, who has this week's happenings.
Thanks, Chanel. Well, first up, we have a theatre performance not to be missed. On the 6th of June at the Artrix Theatre in Bromsgrove is Kaleidoscope. Now, Kaleidoscope is a mix of poetry and live music which tells the story of Anna, who is seeking to escape the dull world that she lives in by impersonating the 1930s Hollywood actor Madeleine Carroll. It's being billed as a performance which combines fantasy and reality in a way that will have you gripped. Sounds like one not to be missed. Next up at the Old Rep in Birmingham, until Saturday, you can catch Alan Parker's world-famous Bugsy Malone. So if you fancy a good sing-along and a bit of a pie fight, make sure you get hold of some tickets. Now, across into Oswald Street, and on Saturday at the Holy Trinity Church, Ex Cathedra will be performing Rachmaninoff Vespers. Now, you a party animal? Well, whether you are or not, you might be interested in popping down to the Rainbow in Digbeth tonight for CD Sonic Summer, with plenty of DJs in the house going to keep it going. And if you prefer some rock and pop, then head down to the Roadhouse on Saturday, the 6th of June, for Roxy Magic, which is the UK's #1 Roxy music tribute band. And finally, it's the Lord Mayor's Show on Saturday, and this year it's commemorating the role of women and faith in the First World War. The Council House will be open to the public, with former Lord Mayors and Lady Mayoresses guiding visitors all the way around the building. And First World War memorials are on display in the basement. The event will be for raising money for the Lord Mayor's charities, including Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, Birmingham Children's Hospital, Focus Birmingham, Cypher and Fireside.
Well, thanks for that, Lee. Now with me now is photographer Emma Love, who is holding an exhibition on the 11th of June, where she'll be exhibiting photos of some of Birmingham's finest male ambassadors. Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining me on What's On.
Hello, Chanel.
Thank you. So what's the inspiration, what's the reason of holding this exhibition?
Well, basically, I'm a Brummie, and I think that people from Birmingham, we're very humble. We don't ever say how fantastic we are. And I had kind of quite a nasty thing happen to me last year. I had my heart broken, and I found myself in a bit of a sad place. And I thought I really needed to find something to occupy my mind. So I came up with this crazy idea of trying to track down just a normal Brummie, famous ambassadors from Birmingham, people that have really made a difference to, in some cases, thousands of people's lives, and celebrate it, because we just don't.
We don't at all.
And we're always the second city that also ran, they're kind of nearly there. And compared to London, which I don't think has the same soul that we have in Birmingham, I just thought it was something that was really important. And then I discovered that it'd never been done before.
Oh wow, so it's a
yeah,
first
so it's a
then.
unique thing. And then I was just very, very blessed that obviously I've got very good researching skills. Went directly to the source of the people, asked them, just, would you mind letting me take your photograph in wherever you want in Birmingham? Mm-hmm. And without exception, everybody said yes.
So that's quite beautiful. Like going back to the reason, like having your heart broken, I guess quite a few people could go into being quite self-pitying and thinking,
I did.
Everyone's just...
I so did.
I guess they could sort of stay in that sort of mode and think, you know what, just forget it, I'm not going to try again. But you've sort of looked at the achieving males in Birmingham instead of just thinking, you know what, they're all the same. You've actually sort of pinpointed them and thought, you know what, they're not.
Yeah, I think it's about having a good work ethic as well, and also being passionate about something. And I love Birmingham. Mm-hmm. I am incredibly passionate about Birmingham. And also I just get extremely tired that we don't say how good we are, because we don't. I hate the fact that it's the second city. I hate that tag, because it kind of always makes out that we're, not quite good enough,
No, you're
not
sort
quite
of there. But no, there's other people there.
You're kind of, but we've got an amazing city. Birmingham has got diverse culture, and we've got these amazing people that for years and years and years have been doing incredible things. And then through that, I mean, I just was sort of doing it really to keep me occupied. Just crazy, because obviously I'm not busy enough with everything else I'm doing. I realised that I'd got this body of work now that I could do something really incredible with. So then I thought, I need to make this something really epic. So I thought what I can do with it is I can try and raise money for a charity.
Exactly.
And then I thought, Birmingham Children's Hospital, the cancer centre, I thought that was an ideal, sort of the older, giving back to the young, to the future. And then I'm just really blessed that Birmingham City University, who have been incredible, are now supporting it as an exhibition. And we have the exhibition, which is next Thursday, the 11th of June, at Millennium Point, which is followed by a city talk, which you can get free tickets for on the Facebook page. And we're having a kind of question time with some of the Mr. Birminghams, and it's talking all about what Birmingham means to them.
I think that's quite beautiful, that is, that obviously like so many people are backing and it's helping such a beautiful charity as well.
Yeah.
Are you able to let us know what photos we can expect to see?
Yeah, you can see the likes of Astro from UB40, which was quite a magical experience for me running around Astro in St Andrews, because he basically reverted to a 7-year-old boy. It was just fantastic. I've got to say thank you to St Andrews as well, because even though I am a blue nose to the core, they have been exceptional. I've had free, I could literally run around St Andrews Stadium with whoever I wanted to, taking photographs.
That's just amazing.
Superb. Astro, Bev Bevan, Black Sabbath, Move, Yellow, etc. Glyn Purnell, who is our lovely Yummy Brummy, people on Twitter. Restaurateur, chef, superhuman, and Jasper Carrot, of course. It's impossible to do anything
without
Jasper Carrot. Had a fantastic experience on top of iconic building, Library of Birmingham, and the locations were always the gentleman's choice as well, wherever they wanted to meet. So, and we've got some cracking places in Birmingham.
Was it quite hard contacting them and getting a hold of them to say, look, I've got this amazing idea, I want you to be a part of it? Was it quite difficult?
Well, for your average person. But I'm a really good researcher, and I've got a very strong work ethic, and I just think if you're passionate and you really believe in something, then you stick at it. And I must admit, some of them were not the easiest to find, but I was very lucky that many of the Mr. Birminghams would then start passing on information for other ones as well.
That's really cool. So have you got anything, like any future plans or anything, like what's coming up?
Yeah, well, I'm also a graffiti photographer when I go across the whole world actually shooting graffiti. And I've got an old school Birmingham Writers exhibition coming up in September, which I'm hopefully come back and talk to you about a bit more in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's going to be my next big project, and again, really, really passionate about that. So, because we have such a fantastic graffiti culture in Birmingham. So to be able to actually recognise that and do something for that is really important to me.
That's amazing. It's being able to obviously utilise your talents, and it's quite nice to think where it started from. Just an average Brummie who's been heartbroken, that's gone through this, and now you've developed such an amazing exhibition, I think. So.
Yeah. And they've all become really good friends as well. So at the end of the day, we're all human, aren't we?
We are. And are some of them going to be appearing at the exhibition as well?
Yeah, several of them will actually be at the exhibition themselves on that night, and then we've got the City Talk afterwards, which again you can book free tickets for through an Eventbrite page, which all details on my Facebook page. There'll be a panel of them, and we've got people like Tom Ross, who's the radio voice of Birmingham, has been for years and years for sports, and they'll be able to ask you questions about what Birmingham means to you, and then giving their little memories of Birmingham as well. So it's going to be a really massive Brummie party, which is great.
I guess it'll be quite educational as well, if people might not know that, these people came from Birmingham, so at least it'll hopefully bump us up there on the rankings of the best city or something. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll get you back on What's On as well.
Thanks, Chanel. Thank you.
That's all we've got time for today. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, then our contact details are on the bottom of the screen. Now, to play us out, here is E of E with Wake Up. Well, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you very soon.